and also the head of all the legislatures and parliament, and he is elected indirectly to his office by this electoral college, which consists of all the legislatures and the parliament. The President will be paying his homage and tributes to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. When we look at the contribution of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, we need to also put into context that there was a lot of fluidity at the time of the creation of the states, because initially the princely states, they were not agreeing to a union with the country of India. They just initially wanted just defense, foreign affairs, communication, these kind of issues. But it was the astute management and skill with which Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel negotiated that he managed to bring legislative authority over the states, and the princely states had agreed to allow legislative and central government also links and controls, and that was the creation of the Federation and the Union of India. It was an enormous task, but must be looked at, as we said earlier, in the context of the emergence of the Republic of India, because at the time India had already given up all its obligations to the British Crown. It was introducing new ideas of democracy. They were looking for models on which to follow, and there were 560 plus autocracies in a sense. There were small little princely states which were following the system of dynasty rather than of people's rule. But this was the transition to a process of democracy where the princes gave away to chief ministers.
देश को एक साथ जोड़ने का सपना देखने वाले सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल की मूर्ति भारत की हस्तकला, शिल्पकला, पर्यटक स्थल और देश की खूबसूरती की एक बेजोड़ मिसाल है। राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद इस समय सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल को श्रद्धासुमन अर्पित करने के लिए इस गगनचुंबी प्रतिमा की ओर बढ़ रहे हैं। सरदार पटेल की 182 मीटर ऊंची गगनचुंबी प्रतिमा विंध्याचल और सतपुड़ा की पहाड़ियों के बीच विश्व के सामने गर्व से खड़ी नजर आती है।
And what we see are the feet of this imposing, colossal statue, the feet and sandals that Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel wore. President paying homage to the Statue of Unity, which embodies in essence the very unity of India, of which the President is the first citizen and the symbolic head of that unity. Acharya Devvrat and Chief Minister Vijay Rupani also paying their homage at the feet of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, India's first Home Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, at a statue which stands 182 meters tall, and these are the feet and sandals of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel.
स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी के कॉम्प्लेक्स में ही एक संग्रहालय भी है, जहां पर्यटक और स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी पर अपनी श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करने वाले भारत के नागरिक, भारत के वासी यहां आके ये देख सकते हैं कि किस तरह का जीवन सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल का रहा। वो सादगी भरा जीवन उनका, जिसमें उन्होंने लंदन में अपनी पढ़ाई की और फिर भारत वापस आके गुलाम भारत को आजाद करने के लिए जो संघर्ष रहा है, साथ ही साथ वंचितों का, किसानों के एक संघर्ष के एक मजबूत आवाज वल्लभ भाई पटेल हमेशा रहे।
And Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel played a crucial role in the integration of Hyderabad with the Indian Union, as well as Junagadh. He said that if Hyderabad wishes to be heard, it must follow bravely and courageously the popular will. Otherwise, Hyderabad's fate will sooner or later be the same as those of other rulers and dynasties who had attempted to thwart the popular will, only at the cost of their existence. These are the words of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel himself. Democracy is the only way, and that is what has created the Union of States. He also said of Pakistan at the time that India has no other wish except to remain at peace with Pakistan. After all, Pakistan is our neighbor, and one does not pick quarrels with one's neighbor. They perhaps thought, speaking of Pakistan, that faced with critical problems, India would not be able to deal with the inroads on her integrity and on her security. And that itself is the achievement with which India's unity stands.
सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल को उनके कठोर फैसलों के लिए जाना जाता था, जिसका परिणाम भयंकर कठिन राजनीतिक स्थितियों में सकारात्मक कार्रवाइयों के रूप में मिला। राष्ट्र अपनी राजनीतिक एकता के लिए उनकी दूरदृष्टि और नेतृत्व का ऋणी है।
President Ramnath Kovind, as we said earlier, is here. He has inaugurated the All India Presiding Officers Conference a short while ago, in which he spoke to the presiding officers of legislatures, of assemblies and councils from across the country, representatives of their staff, the senior staff of the assemblies and the councils, and on the theme of coordination between the three pillars of democracy, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The Vice President too had earlier spoken, just before the President. The President, we do recall, also spoke about the role played by Vittalbhai Patel, who is the brother of the older brother of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. In fact, he was one of the earlier elected presidents of the Assembly, which is the forerunner of the Lok Sabha. And it was in 1925 to 1930 that he held that role, Vittalbhai Patel.
चार भाइयों में विट्ठल भाई वल्लभ भाई से उम्र में 3 साल बड़े थे। अनुशासन, दृढ़ निश्चय और कड़ी मेहनत के माध्यम से दोनों भाइयों ने न केवल अपनी पढ़ाई पूरी की, बल्कि इंग्लैंड से कानून की पेशेवर डिग्रियां भी हासिल की। वल्लभ भाई ने सम्मानपूर्वक खुद से पहले अपने बड़े भाई के लिए इंग्लैंड में कानून की पढ़ाई करने के लिए मार्ग प्रशस्त किया।
The President also referred to G.V. Mavlankar, who had presided over the Constituent Assembly, and that was the forerunner to the current Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and was the first Speaker of India in that context. He also referred to the Vedas and about working together as the principle with which people must move together. We know that the 26th of November is Constitution Day, and the Constitution has clearly defined powers for the executive, the legislature and the judiciary, and this separation of power is the very basis on which the democratic functions abide, because without the separation of powers one would control the other, and that is precisely the manner in which the separation of powers exists, so that there is a balance in a sense of power.
स्टैचू ऑफ यूनिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स में जो संग्रहालय है, उसमें जब आप वल्लभ भाई पटेल के जीवन से जुड़े उन पहलुओं को देखेंगे तो उसमें बारडोली का सत्याग्रह हमें ये बताता है कि किस तरह से वल्लभ भाई पटेल ने किसानों के लिए एक लंबी लड़ाई लड़ी। साल 1928 में बारडोली कस्बे और उसके आसपास के गांव में एक भारी कर वृद्धि लागू की गई थी। सरकार से अपील की गई, लेकिन वह अड़ी रही और दर को 22% बढ़ा दिया। अब तक वल्लभ भाई पटेल एक अनुभवी नेता बन चुके थे और गुजराती किसान जानते थे कि सत्याग्रह कैसे करना है। दादू भाई देसाई जैसे नेताओं की मदद से एक बार फिर सरदार और राष्ट्रवादी किसान सफल हुए। अंग्रेजों ने वृद्धि को वापस लिया और पहली बार लोगों ने चुने हुए प्रतिनिधियों से परामर्श लिए बिना उसे न बढ़ाने के लिए सहमत हुए। वल्लभ भाई पटेल की सफलता की खबर पूरे देश में फैल गई और किसानों ने उन्हें वहीं से सरदार की उपाधि दी।
President Ramnath Kovind, now within the Statue of Unity complex, which also houses an exhibition area depicting the life of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. This is the first function that the President has attended since unlocking a public function, and we can see that all the protocols have been strictly adhered to, considering that we're still not out of the shadow of the COVID pandemic.
सरदार पटेल की इस प्रतिमा की छाती के पास झरोखे बने हुए हैं, जहां से आप सरदार सरोवर डैम को पूरा देख सकते हैं। जैसा कि हमने आपको बताया, स्टैचू के नीचे एक म्यूजियम है जहां पर सरदार पटेल की स्मृति से जुड़ी कई चीजें रखी गई हैं। स्टैचू में लेजर लाइटिंग की व्यवस्था की गई है, जिससे इसकी रौनक दिन और शाम ढलते ढलते कई गुना बढ़ जाती है।
President Ramnath Kovind, first inaugurating the event that he had come for, and then coming to the Statue of Unity, which is the centerpiece of Kevadia. And ever since the statue has been built, a number of events have taken place here. and it is now gaining popularity as one of the favored destinations even on tourist maps across the world. It is considered by Time magazine as one of the 100 most important places to visit, and also one of the 8 wonders of the world by the SCO.
स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी में लगी लिफ्ट से पर्यटक सरदार पटेल के हृदय तक जा सकते हैं, यानी कि उस इलाके से जहां से वो पूरे इस नर्मदा बांध के 17 किलोमीटर लंबे तट पर फैली फूलों की घाटी देख सकते हैं। साथ ही इस पूरे इलाके में स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी जहां लिखा हुआ है, उसी के साथ साथ 5 किलोमीटर के दायरे में कई ऐसे सेल्फी पॉइंट्स हैं जो पर्यटकों को काफी आकर्षित करेंगे।
The Statue of Unity itself is a tourist marvel, but surrounding the Statue of Unity are a number of theme parks which add to the wonder of the entire area. And with that, we take you back to the studios.
Welcome back to the studios. That was a live telecast from Kevadia in Gujarat, where you were just listening to the various speeches at the 80th Presiding Officers Conference being held there. The 2-day conference began today, and President Kovind just a short while back was viewing the exhibition in the premises of the Statue of Unity there. That's all in this edition of the news. Coming up next, Midday Prime with Gautam. Stay tuned. Namaskar.